Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be learning how to play like the god Radahn. Now, if you have utilized his double blade swords, right, you'll find out that it's just like any other great sword, except this time you have two of them and you don't know how to use them really. So you'll see a lot of people going around not utilizing Radahn's kit. So I'm going to go over and show you some of his better attacks. Now, his light attack is unique as it is attached to the regular light attack button when you dual wield the weapon. If you press it over and over again, you'll get 3 consecutive strikes, right? The key word here is consecutive. When you utilize the first strike, it'll do a sweep and another sweep and then an overhead sweep. When you have 2 great swords equipped that aren't Radahn's unique ones, you have to push the alternative button, which is L1 in my case, in order to utilize both blades at the same time. Now, you'll be able to get access to the move set, but you won't be able to block. Now, Radahn's weapons are unique as you can use the other blade to block. It's not the best block, but you can block with it in order to do guard counters. Now, another issue that you may end up interacting with is when utilizing this setup is that the enemies are fast and you are not. Your attacks come out a lot slower and you have to really plan and time your attacks. But this isn't going to be too much of an issue once I tell you what you really need to be doing. A lot of these things are going to revolve around utilizing his light attacks and when to use his heavy attack, and when enemies not even necessarily end up surrounding you, but when to use the Starcaller's cry. Now, because the Starcaller's cry ends up taking away one of the negatives that the Radahn kit has, which is enemy distance versus your curved blades. Now, when you utilize that light attack again, it's not necessarily fastest, but it is one of the faster ways that you can utilize Radahn's weapons to attack. Now, you are going to end up dying a lot when playing with the whole kit because you're not used to the weight and the swinging and the timing. You may want to utilize your heavy attack just like most greatsword users end up doing. Then you're going to end up finding out that sometimes you come up just a bit shorter than normal, right? Because the blades are curved and they're missing about like a foot or two off of the front end of the blade. Now, the overall build is not a heavy build, it's a medium build, but in this footage I accidentally left something on and that made it a heavy build while doing this testing. But again, it's not that big of a deal. You're going to utilize your heavy attack to do poise damage when you can, but that's risky moves. Now, it's only against this big guy I was able to dodge or duck under some of his attacks for that, but normally in a fight I would get hit. And I'm utilizing my jump attacks, followed with a light attack to do 2, well, like a consecutive hit from the air. So the double jump will come down and then it will do 2 light attack hits. As when you're utilizing the heavy attack, you only want to use the heavy attack when an enemy's down or you can guarantee the kill. And you don't want to overextend using that heavy attack because it has bad recovery. And as you can see from the left and the right side of the screen, I'm using my heavy attack on the left, just singular, and I'm using the light attack on the right hand side. The recovery frames for the light attack versus the heavy attack are significant. Another way to enter a fight when an enemy has any type of distance against you is you're going to start off in a sprint and end it in a light attack, and this will sweep the weapon around, hitting everything around you. Now, putting this with the heavy twin bird kite shield, this is going to help me when my health gets low as it boosts my health and defense. It doesn't recover anything, but it boosts the health and defense. Closing distance on enemies, you're going to be utilizing your jump attacks, you're going to be utilizing your sprint with your light attacks, and you're also going to be utilizing, when you can, you're going to be using Radahn's bow, right? I don't know if it's called Radahn's great bow, but it's Radahn's bow. Now, a unique thing to the kite shield is that you can put on Ashes of War. So some of the Ashes of War are going to come on the bottom of the screen, so you can utilize that. And I'd stay away from Shield Strike. You don't want to use that one. Now, Radahn's Rain. Radahn's Rain is unique as you can pick either one of the two bows or arrows that you can get. Now, some of the strongest arrows in the game are Golem arrows as they create an area of effect, and the magical Golem arrows, which so I don't have either one of those, but I know they are really great to use. Right now I only have the Holy and the Radahn's gravity bows, but it does a significant amount of damage. Now Radahn's Rain is unique. Now, I'm in using that a lot because these are specific boss weapons, so they will have some unique things. Radahn's Rain acts as a rain of arrows that come down, but it is relative to the ceiling of the enemy. So if the ceiling is low, it'll attack faster. If the ceiling is high, it'll attack a bit slower, giving enemies a chance to move out the way. So it's a bit mid, but if you have any enemies that are walking slowly towards you or kind of stationary, not paying attention to you, you can use Radahn's Rain. And you'll get a significant amount of shots off when utilizing that technique. Now, I used the Dragon Crest Talisman for physical damage negation. I used the Bull Goat Talisman in order to give myself 92 poise with this build. I used the Taker's Cameo because with Greatswords, you're going to be exchanging in a lot of back and forth blows. So when you do get the kill, you get some health back. I do have on the Two-Handed Sword Talisman, which you get in the DLC. When you dual wield Radahn's blades, you do get increased damage, and it is enough to really make a difference. I do use an incantation, so I have a shield and I have a beast talisman, so I can use Golden Vow. That will grant me more defense and grant me more attack power. I utilize the Erdtree heal in like really situational circumstances. If I'm out of flask or if I'm really down bad on health and I got a chance to breathe, I'll use it. So my Mimic Tier will use it too. Then I use the Law of Causality against some boss fights, so I'll do that with Golden Vow, Law of Causality. So when I get hit a lot, it'll retaliate against the enemy. If anyone tries to poison me or do Scarlet Rot, or just so I have a cleanse effect without using an item, I'll use the Dragon's Cleansing. And then the Thunderbolt Blessing grants lightning to my weapon, so it's effective against dragons. My negation for lightning becomes really bad, but anyway, it's good against dragons. Now, Stone of, I'm not going to be able to say that name right, Gorang, it's very good. Radahn's playstyle is a bit aggressive, beast-like, so I throw the stones, I use the Beast Claw, right? So these are some quick attacks to mitigate some of the slowness. I use Gorang's Beast Claw in order to get some enemies around me if I have the time, if I'm not using Starcaller's Cry. Now, I'm using the Blood Boon as it's a preemptive strike against enemies, and then they have to fight you in that fire. So you can't get burned by your own fire. So it's a good thing to trap them in. And then I'm using the Flask with the Bubble Tier and the Stone Barb. And there you go. There is Radahn's playstyle, the Starcaller build. Now, if you guys did enjoy the video and like the way that I broke that down, not only giving you play-by-play on how to use the playstyle, but also what I have equipped and what its functionality is overall for the build, go ahead and let me know in the comment section below. I'll give the next video a lot more time, a lot more dedication to break it down a lot slower in order for you to dissect that, in order to grasp a little bit more of what the build is trying to put together. So hit that like button, share and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.